Alright, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what we got going on here. As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, man, today's video is dealing with Boosie. How Boosie goes off on J.Prince Jr. for even inviting him out to the dice game, man. Y'all already know what dice game I'm talking about. The same one that Duke the Jeweler attended. The reason why Boosie feel that way because he seen what happened with TakeOff. And not only that, Boosie seen how people was trying to blame him for what happened with Duke the Jeweler. And he wasn't rolling with it. That's the reason why he had to let J.Prince Jr. know how he really feels about his MobTies affiliates. Yeah, and Boosie know that the Pops, J.Prince, he got them people working for him to control the narrative. So Boosie, he know what's going on out there, man. He just upset that J.Prince Jr. would get his name involved in something like this. He seen how a lot of people was making it seem like Boosie and his affiliates was the one who set up Duke. When Boosie acknowledged himself, he had nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, he stated, I was the first one to let people know that Duke the Jeweler got set up. Didn't nobody even know it happened. He said so at the same time, he don't understand why people was blaming him when he the one who exposed the whole story. To try to let the people know off top that he had nothing to do with it. And like I stated, man, when he seen what happened with TakeOff, he really knew it was something going down with J.Prince Jr. and his MobTies affiliates. Because when Boosie was at the dice game with Duke, he said he seen how J.Prince Jr. guys was moving in the room. He said they was moving real funny. That's the reason why he was standing next to Duke, to let the people know that him and his guys got Duke back if they down to do anything. He said, man, Duke was a cool dude, and he don't understand why anybody would do that to him. But again, this video is based on Boosie. He had to snap on J.Prince Jr. to let him know don't ever invite him out to no private events or nothing like that, man. Especially if you don't know how to properly secure the place. Especially if you don't know how to make sure that these dudes you invite out make it back to their family safely. And you ain't do that with TakeOff, and you ain't do that with Duke. He says messed up. I mean, y'all gotta understand why Boosie feel that way. What happened with Duke, it messed up his money. Because he couldn't do shows in Chicago for about 2 weeks, almost a month. Until the people started to realize that it wasn't Boosie who set up Duke the Jeweler. Before we get into it, as always, let's first pay our respects and say rest in peace to Duke the Jeweler, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Chicago. Hey, I keep telling y'all, man. Hey, man, I keep trying to tell y'all, Duke family, the Chicago GDs, they really pressing up on J.Prince Jr. and his MobTies affiliates. Because they still haven't gave Duke family a real answer based on what happened to him and why they didn't properly protect Duke even though they invited him out. And yes, as always, let's pay our respects and say rest in peace to TakeOff, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in the ATL. Quavo, Offset, Lingo, y'all keep y'all heads up out there, my guys. Y'all will get justice sooner or later. And y'all see the ball is rolling based on what happened with TakeOff at the private event. But Duke family, they not getting that same justice. You understand? Because they feel like somebody hiding something. And I try to let you guys know before, man. It's a lot of folks in HTown who speaking on the fact that J.Prince, the Pops, he may be working with those people. So that's the reason why his sons haven't been brought down, haven't been questioned based on what happened with Duke the Jeweler. Because they saying it didn't happen at the dice game. Because they saying that Duke the Jeweler, he didn't get shot up at the dice game. They saying that whole situation with Duke, it happened when he was leaving the concert. Yeah, the same concert that Boosie said he was walking through the tunnel, through the parking garage with Duke. They had a small conversation. Duke went his way. Boosie went his way. He said 15 minutes later, he get a call from one of his people that Duke was laid out. So that let y'all know right there, somebody had been watching Duke moves the whole time. But again, this video is based on Boosie. He says he's not ever going out to H-Town pertaining to anything dealing with J.Prince Jr. or his brother MobTies affiliates. So with that, Boosie saying he just happy that he didn't go to the event where TakeOff was set up. Boosie say what's even crazy is he had a show in Houston that same day. Yeah, man, that same night on Halloween, October the 31st. It was a lot of different events going on out there in H-Town. I told y'all, man, even before the private event started, Finesse 2 Times, he had a show out there. Something that J.Prince Jr. had put together for him. And I told y'all, man, even what happened with TakeOff, that limit Finesse 2 Times mobility on making money in the ATL. Only because the people know that Finesse 2 Times is affiliated to J.Prince Jr. MobTies. So the folks feel like, hey man, Finesse 2 Times, if you want to do a show out here, you can't bring J.Prince Jr. with you. That's why, like I stated before, man, y'all have been seeing finesse 2 times, hang out with Moneybagg Yo more. Moneybagg Yo name is not in any beef. You understand? Moneybagg Yo didn't even want to get in the beef between Yo Gotti, Black Youngster, and Young Dolph. So that lets y'all know right there, man. He just out here trying to make money. But at the same time, Boosie say, hey, hanging out with J.Prince Jr., he ain't doing that again. Yeah, man, now the people seeing the truth on what Sauce Walka was talking about. See, Boosie already recognizes the fact that his guys got the RICO and Sauce Walka TSF guys got the RICO, all because of J.Prince Jr. MobTies affiliates criminal activities. You understand? So dealing with that, you got street cats trying to understand how can these suburban cats get us stuck between a rock and a hard place, get us stuck in a situation that we can't get ourselves out of. Yeah, folks, even with that being said, Boosie said he's still not going to put this on the pops, J.Prince, because he understands what he's going through on trying to raise some sons. When the sons is trying to earn some street credibility, when all they have to do is network and create proper resources. Come on now, we not naive. We know that it's easier said than done. But at the same time, to try to earn some type of street credibility when you're already in a position that 90% of people don't get a chance to be in, and that's create resources and provide for you and your people without the BS, because your pops already went through it. And that's something that Boosie speaks on. He says he understands he went through all the rigmarole, so his sons, his children, won't have to go through the same thing. But at the same time, that can't handicap the next generation is when they don't understand what it takes to earn a dollar bill, to continue to build what the pops already created for them. You understand? And Boosie say he know it's hard because you got boys who trying to earn street credibility so they won't get looked down upon from their peers. He says he understands all that, but at the same time, the older you get, it has to be some maturity in there. He's basically saying you can't be trying to search and look for street credibility any longer. The older you get, you should have a different process on life and where you want to be in life. But at the same time, Boosie says he understands, because when kids come from suburban environments, they really don't understand how the streets work. But again, Boosie says he understands what the pops J.Prince is going through, because he built his name up for the past 30 years without a blemish on his last name. Whenever we heard the Prince last name, we always knew he came with something real because he's a stand-up guy. But Boosie said the actions of his sons and the MobTies affiliates is putting a bad image on the pops, because now the pops is trying to do everything in his power to restore the last name or to restore that image, because his sons, again, they trying to earn some type of street credibility that's not doing nobody no justice. And that's the reason why he's saying what happened with Duke, it shouldn't have happened. Because Boosie even acknowledged the fact that Duke was invited out to HTown just like he was. Similar to TakeOff. Boosie said that's when he knew it was real based on what happened with TakeOff, man. He said, yeah, man, he was at the dice game with Duke. Duke was a cool guy, talked about making him a charm, you understand? And they also talked about other things pertaining to the jewelry industry. So Boosie is saying when he heard what happened with Duke, it was a messed up situation. That's why he said he had to let the people know. Because at the same time, like, he didn't want the GDs or Duke family to know that he had anything to do with it. But again, when he seen what happened with TakeOff, man, he knew it was something going down with J.Prince Jr. and the MobTies affiliates. Because you got two highly successful black men to go out like this. And he said the type of money he make, he'd be surprised if anybody was watching him that night. He said if they was watching Duke and Duke had just left him to 10 minutes later, Duke get shot up and his jewelry get taken from him. Come on, man. It had to be somebody who was at that dice game that knew that Duke had a bag of jewelry and knew that Duke was leaving a concert at that specific time. You understand? But still, Boosie is saying what all of us been saying. You got to be aware of the people around you. Even the people that invite you out, you got to make sure they have the right mindset. You got to make sure they have the proper security and there's not a bunch of goofies hanging around them that can bring undue heat to you. You feel me? Hey, but we got more in store. As always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.